following program may contain coarse language, suggestive dialogue, and discussion of violent imagery and sexual situations. It is intended for mature listeners who can tell the difference between facts and opinions.
Prepare to have your faces rocked clean off on this episode of the Toonami Faithful Podcast. I am your host, Sketch, and with me I have...
It's me, your co-host, Kuro.
And...
Yo, it's Streaming Steven, running the stream, making sure nothing sounds like it should.
Very good, very good. And we have a returning guest.
It's LumRanmaYasha from Manga Mavericks.
Long time no hear.
Wow, Manga Mavericks has been busy lately.
Yes. We have been up to a lot with Manga Mavericks books. We've announced a lot of new titles. We've been doing some cons. And in addition to all that, we have things going on our podcast and media side too. And things are going to get even busier for us as we approach the summer's con season, where we have even more exciting announcements to share with folks that I'm really excited for people to learn about.
Awesome. And we look forward to hearing them when the time comes. But today we're here to talk about 2 episodes of Dawn to Dawn, along with the latest episodes of Rooster Fighter and Blue Lock. But we also have some exciting news. It's time, finally. The 3rd season of My Adventures with Superman is upon us. Coming June 13th at midnight on Toonami. I was at least a little bit concerned that it wouldn't be on Toonami. Nice to see that they are continuing with that tradition.
Yeah, season 2 was straight to Toonami, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's good to see they're continuing that with season 3, especially since, Primal had like premieres on Sunday and then reruns on Toonami.
Mhm.
It's good that Superman's just, nope, straight to Toonami.
Straight to Toonami.
And just in
We
time
love to
for
see it.
Supergirl, too, coming a month later. So, nice timing if you're a Superman fan.
Indeed. Indeed.
Actually, Supergirl is like late June, right? So this is going to be about the same time.
Yeah, right around the same time. I think it's late June. I know it's at sometime in June. Yeah. Very cool. Looking forward to that. They are adapting the multiple Supermans storyline, and I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I am interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah, it's interesting they're going to do that part of the Death of Superman storyline without the actual Death of Superman part of the storyline. But it's interesting, that teaser visual of like cyborg Superman, it looks cool. We knew that Superboy was going to be in the season from like the My Adventures with Superman panel from San Diego Con like 2 years ago. So, and yeah, I mean, Steel already in the show. So yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how they tackle this storyline in this series.
Yeah, there's plenty of ways they can do it, but it also kind of feels like they are speed running all the significant Superman stuff. And I kind of wish they'd pace that out more, but then again, another season is not guaranteed.
Well, there are a lot of different storylines and material they can pull from. So, they are doing something pretty major, but it seems like they're going to do their own spin on it, as all these like shows and adaptations tend to do. So I'm going to be interested to see how they handle it. But yeah, I mean, we already had such fast pacing in the first season to get to the point where like, Lois and Jimmy knew Superman's real identity, and then introduction of all these major villains and his past and all that stuff. And then season 2 just continue that trend with like introducing Supergirl and having everything with Brainiac. So, they already have been doing so much plot stuff every season. So I'm not too surprised. Like, okay, we're getting even more major characters and storylines with the third season.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it. I'm glad with there was that mention that the post production was well underway, but it still seemed a little iffy that it would come in time to replace Rooster Fighter, which was when I thought it would make sense. But here we have it. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, right in time for Rooster Fighter to end. It'll premiere the next week, it seems. And yeah, it's been quite a wait. It's been about 2 years, I think, since the second season. So
yeah,
definitely
we
kept us
were
waiting on this.
we were watching the second season that year. I went to Anime Expo and bunked with all you guys.
Yeah,
Good times.
fun times.
Fun times. Well, Toonami is about to go from Super Chicken to Superman, but as for us, we're about to go from Superman to Super Chicken.
Hmm.
So let's talk about this episode of Rooster Fighter.
You'll believe that a chicken can fly, or at least kick really hard.
Kick very, very hard. In episode 8, Not All Feathers Hold a Song.
I can believe that Casey could leap tall buildings in a single leap or bound.
Yeah.
And with his
got-
leg strength.
It's got some pretty spry legs, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Got some pretty spry legs, that one. So
Yeah, you know, he seems pretty fast. Maybe he is faster than a speeding bullet.
perhaps.
These really are super chickens when you think about them.
They are. They are. And I know a lot of our listeners are old enough to know of Super Chicken.
Oh.
I know that theme song lives rent-free in my head.
Now that's a series they should bring back up at MeTV Tunes. Or did they? I mean, they air Rocky and Bullwinkle, right? Or George of the Jungle?
They did. They haven't aired George of the Jungle yet. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. They're always trying out other things on that wonderful, wonderful network that I wish I had all the time in the world to watch. Not that they're perfect by any means, but they're pretty darn entertaining to have on in the background.
Yeah, it's like the return of old school Cartoon Network, which, speaking
Very
of, I don't know
much.
if we were going to mention this, but sadly, Ted Turner passed away
Yep.
recently.
I saw that.
That is true. The man that brought us Cartoon Network has
CNN,
passed away.
Turner Classic Movies. We need more eccentric, rich guys who love the arts like him. But
I know.
nowadays, we just have crazy tech moguls obsessed with AI.
My God, don't get me started. Yeah, Ted
wonder-
Turner was a treasure.
I wonder what old Ted thought of AI up at this point.
He probably didn't have much of a thought for it. I've been reading some really disturbing things about AI chatbots, really disturbing things. So I am, as aside from our good friend Craig here, this is the only regular use of AI that I have currently.
Yeah, John
I'm
Oliver
an
did
AI free household. He did the chatbot piece where they talked about how there's no guardrails to prevent suicide or seeking child porn or a lot of other really disturbing things. So please, I encourage you, if you're making an AI chatbot friend, come talk to us instead. Please don't do that. Don't invest yourself in AI chatbots. Don't do that. There are real people out there who sometimes your friends are going to be harsh on you, but maybe that's because you need that. And they're also going to be more authentically caring about your best interest, which an AI chatbot doesn't do. So just stay away. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And watch John Oliver's piece, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's your
The only
PSA for the night, guys.
chatbots you should rely on is the one that Elizabeth uses on her phone to help her look stuff up.
Well, we like Craig. Craig's our friend.
And Craig. Yeah.
And Craig's one of the good ones.
Yeah. Craig does like a service. He performs a service and only that.
And only that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I mean, there could be other things going on behind the scenes we don't know about.
Not think about it.
Craig
Not thinking about it.
Listens to us talk, but he doesn't try to talk to us and give us misguided therapy.
Yeah.
You seriously can't.
If he's gathering data on these conversations, I cannot imagine what kind of twisted information we're giving. Like the weird ass shit we talk about. Like that can't be useful to anyone for purely entertainment. So
I sure are talking about cock a lot.
Yes, unless you're obsessed with Toonami news, you're not going to get much information here.
True.
Yeah.
True. Oh yeah, this episode of Rooster Fighter makes some big reveals. At the end of the previous episode, the silky chicken rooster, he appeared in front of KG and was like, "Big brother, I finally found you." And KG's like, "What? I don't have a brother." Well, turns out he does. He has a younger half brother because his father is promiscuous as he is.
Yeah, it looks like KG isn't the only man whore. It runs in the family.
It very much runs in the family.
See that parallel.
No, he doesn't. He's so mad at his own father for doing the same kind of things he did. But in fairness, we don't know if KG ever actually conceived, and he never had a family that he abandoned for another, as far as we know. Of course, it's only as far as we know.
When you reflect on the story with Elizabeth, who's to say that one of the hens he laid with didn't lay their own egg and he unknowingly abandoned them? He has some
for all we know,
there.
Piyoko is his daughter.
Well,
let's not make it weird. Let's not make it too weird.
Let's not make it too weird. I mean, there seems to be something unique about this family lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they are part of... they say that, there's this Goshikadori clan whose duty it is to fight the demons, and they have this long history with the demons, and so there's all this lore that's established in this episode that's pretty interesting. You taught this...
Here you go, Kuro! Here's that lore you wanted!
I love lore! Love the lore. I'm a fan.
Mm-hmm. You thought it was this lone wandering chicken who was just out there fighting the demons all on his own, but it turns out, even unbeknownst to him, that he comes from this long lineage of chickens.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest, because it was kind of cool that he was just... He developed these abilities, and he's been killing demons kind of out of necessity and for his revenge. But now we find out that this was his destiny, even though he certainly could have rejected it, and he probably will. Yeah, I don't know. It recontextualizes things, and I don't necessarily like it.
But isn't this the most shonen direction you can go? It turns out the protagonist is part of this special lineage and has these special powers he didn't know about, but there's this destiny or these machinations that we're all leading into this direction of him becoming the hero that the world needs. Isn't that pretty much every shonen's protagonist? Even the Rooster Fighter seinen, it's really pulling from these very tropey concepts in a fun way, and in the absurdest way that this is a series starring these talking animals who are participating in this shonen melodrama plot. But yeah, it's very, very typical of the genre.
Mm-hmm. So timeline wise, that interaction that Keisuke and his father had with these other human-looking demons happened like 5 days ago. So he's been looking for his brother ever since, because that's what his father told him to do. Go find your half brother. And we see his journey to find him, and I feel vindicated because he talks to the pigeon girls.
Yes, he talks to pigeon girls, so it wasn't completely pointless. Except. Yeah, I mean, was that really a major plot point sketch?
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I will say
In fact, the
scene-
pigeon girl said it was a complete waste of time.
Yeah, I will say that the scene of Casey like talking to all the characters that KG has helped in the show or met in the show up to this point is pretty much added for the anime. In the manga, it was like only the
Oh.
cat really he talked to, and then none of those other characters he interacted with.
Interesting.
Well, the cat was the important one.
The cat was the
Yeah,
important
the cat was the most important character
That's
that KG.
important.
I liked
encountered.
seeing that town was, pulling itself together, and
Yeah, I
that the
liked
little
it.
girl and
I
her
li-
grandfather are doing all right. Yeah. all that.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I like seeing that. Oh, all these characters we had interacted up till now, checking on them, seeing that they're doing well. I thought it was nice, a nice addition.
Yeah. It was nice. And it was a brief montage, no big deal. So
Mhm.
he's been looking around for KG for a little around 5 days, and he bumps into some young men watching Rooster Fighter on their phones. And he's like, "Oh, that could be him." So he finally tracks him down, all battered and bruised and beaten up, and he passes out, and he gets nursed back to health. He was asleep for like a day, I think. And when he wakes up, he meets Miss Elizabeth and is immediately smitten. And
As he
she
should be.
notices very quickly that he has like no experience talking to women, and decides to have a little fun with him. Oh, she's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. Let me take care of you." And as she's doing this, KG walks over and is like, "What? You've been playing us this whole time? You're perfectly
Mhm.
fine." But we all know what it's really about. He's jealous.
I think he is. I don't know if
Be
he's
the
that
only
upset.
cock in the roost.
Yeah.
I think
He
he's more
does.
annoyed. It's like he doesn't really trust this guy, so he's like, "Okay,
No,
what's
totally
your game?"
understandable.
Yeah.
Totally understandable. But he explains, no, we met way back when, and that brings up some trauma for KG, thinking about
Mhm.
how he thought he had a wonderful family life with a caring father, and he's out having a good time with his parents, and then his dad disappears very, very briefly. His dad disappears, so he goes looking for him, and this guy has had another family in walking distance.
Yeah, it's like they're on the same like forest property. I mean, it looks like KG and his family were like being taken care of by some other family, but then in the forest there were the wild silky chickens that his father had another family with. So yeah,
made-
it's like it's a miracle that they didn't encounter each other earlier or more often.
Yeah, well, I think it was really just this one time before he decides, "Oh, well, I guess I'm out." Maybe he took that family elsewhere. But little Casey is like, "Hey, are you another chicken from around here? We could play if you'd like."
So cute.
Oh,
Little baby Silky.
Yeah.
little
Both
guy.
both little
I
chick
want one.
KSK and KG were pretty cute in this flashback sequence.
Yeah.
They were very cute.
Especially KSK because he looks so fluffy.
He's so
Yeah.
fluffy. I want one.
Ooh,
I want a
fluffy,
Silky.
silky. Fluffy, fluffy, fluffy. And having recalled this, Cage's like, "Oh yeah, you're that little brat I met back then." And then we see that after Keiji's father leaves his mother, she's she's about to lay an egg, but it takes the remaining strength in her life to give birth to Sarah, which really makes Keiji mad in that moment. Thinking, why would you go to all this trouble to have the child of that guy? But of course, we know that eventually he becomes very attached to Sarah.
For the record, she can't help it. It's
Mhm.
hormonal.
Yeah.
The moment she laid that egg, she was gonna brood on it. So
Mm,
she's just being a good mama.
true, true.
It also makes it even more tragic that Sarah was like the only family that Keiji had after his mother
Mhm.
died, and so he really went down as his way to be protective of her, and
That's why he's so
only for her
attached.
to be eaten by that demon. So it's like, yeah, you can understand how he got so emotionally hardened after that.
Yeah. Yeah, explains why he's so attached to her.
Mhm. Yeah. The last family he had. Well,
As far
except
as
for
he
that
knew.
good for nothing father who he didn't want to see, who he
Ship
knew
off
was
the
still
old
alive.
block.
Yeah. So now his half brother is asking him to help fight the demons, and Keiji's like, "No, I don't want to do that." But they have a fight, and
Yeah, I mean specifically, like they get over this fight because Keiji keeps insulting like his father because he blames him for his mother's death, and he
yeah,
calls him a piece of crap, and even worse, and so that pisses Keisuke off because he respects his father.
hmm,
So they have very different relationships to their father, and it seems that Keisuke, got to spend more time with him and was directly like mentored by his father. So he's seen a different side of him than Keiji ended up seeing.
yeah. That difference in perspective makes a big difference. And so they fight, and everybody's a little surprised that Keiji is not easily winning this fight. In fact, he's losing.
Even
And
Keisuke's surprised that White Brother is this weak.
yeah,
He
I
was
guess
coming to him, relying on him for help, but he's like, wait, he's not even on my level. His movements are sloppy and slow. And so
yeah.
he's like, we shouldn't even continue fighting. It's no point in it.
And then he feels bad about it later. He's like, "Oh man, I went to get help from my brother, and now I insulted him. And I feel bad about it. I should really try to mend the fence and also try to get his help." So he makes another attempt, and it doesn't go super well. But uh, they do find out about these demons that look awfully familiar. And it would seem that when that woman stuck her finger into Morio a couple of episodes ago, she didn't kill him. She did something else to him,
Hmm.
which
When I
makes
was
him,
listening to you guys talk about that and being like, oh man, I can't believe they killed Morio off, I was like, you guys are really jumping to that conclusion a little prematurely.
I didn't say he was dead. I said they were like absorbing demons or something. That was my conclusion. And I was closer to what seems to be happening. They're collecting them like puppets.
yeah, turning them
Hmm.
into mindless slaves, which
Yeah.
is not much better than dying, really.
Well, it does make you wonder what are they? Is like how much of their original free will or their original persona is left? Are they actually alive in there, or are they just puppets?
I guess we'll
Hmm.
we'll see if Keiji can get through to Morio. But
Yeah.
they fight this squid demon, and Elizabeth points out, no, this was one of the good demons. We shouldn't kill him. Here,
Yeah, this
I'll
was a
just
good callback to when Elizabeth was explaining, oh, there are different kinds of demons in episode 3, and she did show Keiji this octopus demon that was like helping put out fires. So it was nice to bring one of those like demons we had seen earlier back, and then encounter it again in this mind control form.
By the way, they went back to the town where they met Morio, and it is trashed. So that is very concerning.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's sad
there's a
after all
whole
the
other
effort that
yeah,
they
it's
went to
super
protect
sad.
it from the dam breaking.
I hope he can come back to his senses and that the townspeople won't hate him forever.
Yeah, especially since that was another part of what made him feel sad is that people were like scared of him and were like abusing him because he was a demon, so he was like ostracized from the town. But then they warmed up to him after seeing him on the live stream protecting the town, from the dam breaking. So.
So the other thing that's going on in this story is Keiji and Keisuke's father has been captured by these quote-unquote devils, which profess that they are not demons. They are something far more powerful. And they're like a family of these devils that can control other demons. And the kind of scrawnier looking one calls the woman that we saw a few episodes ago Mother, and seems to be very much trying to get her approval in all things.
She's like Lilith.
Perhaps.
Yeah, she giving Lilith vibes.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder then if she's there with her spawn, or whatever term you could apply to the other two devils that were with her, allowing them or encouraging them to collect the family of this these chickens that have these powers. But she walked by them and saw them in earlier episodes and did nothing. And she saw Pyoko and did nothing. So it is a curiosity.
She even helped Pyoko.
What her game is. Yeah, what is what's her larger game here? She seems to be pot stirring more than anything.
Yeah, is she really out to capture them, or is she testing them? She said something very cryptic about Pyoko, that they have to protect her. So what's her game really?
Yeah, she's interesting. She's interesting, but is the one who took our boy Morio, so I don't think her intentions are completely altruistic. Just someone to keep an eye on, for sure.
Yeah. Actually, she gives me a lot of Orochimaru vibes. In the sense that she has like these sycophantic people who are like, obsessively loyal to her, but she like also can like curse or like take over other people. And also just like kind of her snake-like kind of eyes and just general like pale white skin, long black hair.
The other two
a lot of
have that ability as well to take over and collect demons. So this isn't an ability that's unique to her. It's something that these other humanoid-looking creatures have as well.
At least Hikari, the purple-haired one. We didn't see the one with the gun hands.
No, but I would imagine he has, he's on a similar vein. He's got sort of humanoid features, and he is calling himself devil as well. So.
Yeah, I think that's a likely that he has the same authority. But maybe not. We don't know how this hierarchy works.
No idea. Just guesses.
Yeah, we don't even know for sure if Mother can actually control the other demons, or if it's just something that the purple-haired guy can do. But I have a
Hey.
feeling that she does.
Keiji
Seeing as-
is really being a jerk.
He is.
He's being so obnoxious. I swear, every other episode, he's like, I don't need to help people. Like, okay, fine, that was funny at first, but now you're just kind of being an asshole about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very tsundere. But also, in this situation, you can understand he has a lot of resentment towards his father. But, like, at the same time, it's pretty cold to be like, oh, this guy should die. Like, he doesn't deserve to live. And so,
Yeah. That's too extreme.
but he does seem concerned about Morio when he sees that Morio was wreaking havoc on this town. And he
Yeah,
does
at
get into
least he
action once
cares
he
about
sees that.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Glad he cares
Mhm.
about somebody, because he's just been like, he's been pretty callous. Like, why should I help people? He keeps saying that, and it's just getting old for me. Like, I get that's part of his character arc. That's his bit right now, and he'll find his inner humanity or chickanity or whatever.
Inner-Chickanity. I'm write that
We're
down.
making a vocabulary here, but still, yeah. Like, Elizabeth has that soft side, and she is that caring. She's destroying demons because they're hurting humans, and she cares about humans. So, she's that balance, the yin to the yang, if you will.
Yeah.
But come
And
on,
after...
Keiji, you're being so unlikable. Like, I'm on Keisuke's side right now. He's more
Yeah.
powerful than you. In your face.
Yeah. Keiji's pretty emotionally immature, despite, like, the image of toughness he wants to give up. Like, the idea that, oh, I don't need anyone. I'm all good on my own. Even though inside he does care about other people, but he's also carrying, like, this kind of baggage of, like, a lot of the people he cared about in his life, they either ended up, like, leaving, like his father, or tragic things happened to them, like his mother and sister. So you cannot see that he's trying to be emotionally distant so that he doesn't feel hurt again when something happens to people he cares about. But he just needs to kind of accept that and be able to mature past that and let other people in again and be honest with them and honest about how he feels about other people too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So one detail I noticed, the kind of corrupted demons, they all kind of have that red and blue color thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
I like some of the special variants, and I'm guessing that it's going to be a pretty good tell of whether or not a demon has been taken over. But just something I observed.
Good observation. Solid hypothesis.
Steven, what are your thoughts on this episode of Rooster Fighter?
I liked it. It didn't flesh out much, but it fleshed out what we needed to know about these characters. KG's father is as bad as KG. And it makes sense, I guess, because look at them, they do look alike. So, I don't know. It makes sense that he has a father who is just like him, or at least just as bad, right? Or maybe just like a womanizer, just going from using one woman to another chicken over and over again. But I mean, at least his brother turned out okay, I guess. But he was raised differently. I don't know. I guess I don't know. I'm conflicted about that. I don't know why I'm conflicted about chickens, but I'm conflicted about chickens.
We don't
It's
have the
strange.
father's side of the story.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
why we're missing part of the tale here.
so to me, when they started talking about like the family and everything in the lineage and everything else and all that, were they humans turned into chickens, or were they demons turned into chickens? Or was there something with that? Or were they just royal protector chickens who had powers like, a Goku?
I'm leaning towards the latter.
Mm.
They're just
Yeah.
chickens in this universe
They're
too.
just chickens. Okay, then they're just chickens.
We haven't established if all chickens can become powerful.
Or is it
Interesting.
just the members of this clan? And are the members of this clan only chickens? Can only chickens use this power to fight demons?
Interesting.
Tell me, can you learn this power?
The demons seem cool, though it's the second time that I seen a gun hand after watching Kamen Rider. I'm like, okay. Weirdly
Who
with
didn't
that.
see that coming?
No, I did not see a gun hand coming, but I mean, I gotta say,
Oh,
the guy's
you
like
making
shooting
that
out a
reference.
Gatling gun out of it. Yeah.
Who didn't see
Guy
making
shooting.
that reference?
Yeah, a guy shooting out a Gatling gun with our arm. That's kind of cool. Aside from that, yeah, it wasn't that eye opening, but I do like that Keiji and Keisuke almost, while one is Keisuke's a little bit stronger because he's a little bit younger, they seem to have the almost same fighting style. And it's kind of like a Goku and Vegeta type thing. And I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing kind of right there, but it does feel one thinks they can do everything, the other one thinks they need friends to do it all and the power of friendship or, something like that. But it is a cool parallel to see them how their father raised them almost the same way, just a different style of like caring and loving. And you can see that throughout of like the hints of it. So that's cool to see that. Excited to see where it goes from there.
Keisuke may be more powerful because he had training from his
Yeah.
father.
I think
That
that's
was my
really what it
supposition.
comes down to.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
we see Keiji is self-trained. Like, even in this episode, we see him training by, like, lifting this rock on his back and doing squats for over 300
Leg lifts,
times.
yeah, baby. He doesn't skip leg day.
No.
Colonel Sanders is like looking at those legs thinking, it's going to make me a lot of money one day.
You can only
Yeah.
imagine what exercise he does for
Thighs.
ring day, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Thick thighs with two C's.
I mean, we see that he has pretty big pecs for a chicken, so he really knows how to
Yes,
work
he
that
does. Whenever he's about to let off one of his big vocals, he really puffs up his chest. He really puffs out his chest, and you see them pecs. Large breasts on that chicken.
Yummy. I mean, what?
I feel like with how much muscle Keisuke has, his meat would be very tough.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Considerably.
Yeah. Very, very tough. Yeah. So now we have a good idea of what kind of character Keisuke is. And what did I say? I thought he'd be super serious, but also a doofus.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I hit the bell pretty well on that one. He's more like Zenitsu than I would have thought.
With the high pitched screaming bits. For a moment, because I really like his voice, but then when he was screeching like that, I was like, oh no, that's grating me the wrong way. Don't do any more of that.
I suppose it would be kinder to say he's like Sanji.
Yeah, I guess Sanji, except not perverted. Or smooth. So maybe he's more like Zenitsu in that he's like just
Yeah.
he just gets overexcited around women or overly infatuated.
Only his feathers are smooth.
More of a simp.
Yeah, only.
I want to give him pets.
Only his feathers are smooth. Kuro, you're getting all the good lines this time.
Just trying my best. I'm here to help. He deserved
Yeah.
pets.
Yeah. Big developments in this episode. Big developments. And it looks like next time Keiji's going to try to talk it out with Morio. How that goes.
Gosh, I hope it ends well because I love Morio.
Yeah. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to Morio.
No, he must be protected.
Yeah, he finally found a reason to a purpose in his life and a reason to live and keep going. So it'd just be cruel if something.
Yeah, really cruel.
Yeah,
I suppose they'll probably, maybe they won't go and try to rescue the father quite so soon. They could certainly be deterred from that. But
well, they're going to the warehouse. Just in the preview, it shows that they're going to the warehouse where the father is being kept. So,
okay, well,
they're at least going to try.
This will be like the final arc. It'll be like a 4-episode arc.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption. The storyline will carry through the end of the season.
I do wonder if they successfully rescue the father, if he will properly train Keiji.
Yeah.
I mean, it's clear that Keiji does need some training to learn how to use his powers as effectively as Keisuke. So maybe we're going to be due for a training arc. Who knows?
How very shonen.
Yeah.
He's going to need that training arc before he takes on the Colonel.
Oh, yeah. The Colonel's got to be the big boss at the end of that.
It's got to be.
That's all of next season, guys.
Yeah. And I think this has been doing well enough that a second season is pretty likely.
I don't see how they could wrap all this up in 4 episodes. Maybe they can.
Okay, so cards on the table. I've read the manga. I'm going to be interested to see how they wrap up this arc in the next 4 episodes, because to me that feels like it's a lot for 4 episodes.
But, I haven't even read it, and I don't think they can. I just feel like from what's been implied, I mean, the episodes have been busy, but I just have a feeling
and they've been skipping stuff too.
Yeah.
Like they've been skipping chapters up to this point as well. So
you think they'll go back?
Probably
later, like in a second season?
Maybe, because the thing is, with a second season, I'm also wondering how far they would be able to do with that, because just based on the pacing and based on like the fact that the storylines after this, I don't know what would be a good stopping point for a second season that would be like self-contained and not end on a cliffhanger. So, but if we get a second season, that'd probably be like a few years out. So maybe by then there would be a more clear direction on how to handle doing future seasons. But yeah, I would like to see them adapt some of the chapters they skipped. There was one chapter that they skipped that I was like, I wish we sort of had this one instead of the pigeons chapter, because it felt like there was some more stuff that was plot relevant, or at least character backstory relevant in that chapter that probably should have been in the show. But we'll see how they will tackle this if they do more after this first season.
That's interesting that there was a potential other chapter that they could have adapted that would have been less of a waste of time than the pigeons.
I like the pigeon part, though. It was like very funny. I think it's nice to have that kind of like comedic break type of story or episode before like kind of like a continuous like action arc like we're gearing up for now.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll do it, unless either of you have any additional thoughts.
No. Let's talk about soccer.
Let's talk
Mhm.
about soccer. Well, in episode 13, the top three, we have the match between Isagi's team wearing white and Rin's team wearing red. Isagi's team actually immediately scores a goal working together, and they're thinking that they're hot shit.
Mm.
But uh, the next round, Rin lands a shot from the kickoff to pretty immediately humble them.
Yeah, they were really too overconfident. Like, you're going up against the top 3 ranked players in the second round, you know. Gotta
Yeah,
be on your toes.
seriously. And then Isagi tries to pass to Bachira, but it's intercepted by Are You Mr. Glamorous, who uses his height and long limbs to steal the ball and score. And then Bachira tries to outmaneuver Tokimitsu, who's really skittish and meek demeanor, suddenly gives way to a monstrous speed and strength. And he's so unpredictable that Bachira can't deal with him. But passes it to Isagi to score. Nagi attempts to work a formation between the three of them and block their opponent's individual strengths so that they can score. And then Rin attempts another shot kick right from the kickoff and is blocked by Isagi, pulling the ball out of bounds. And they once again thinking, all right, we're good now. And then Rin uses a curve shot that allows him to score from the corner with ease. Like, and this whole time, Rin is talking so much trash. And well,
Mhm.
he can back it up. At least at this point, compared to these guys, he can definitely back it up.
Yeah, he walks the walk, or kicks the kick, as it were.
And then with one goal left for Team Red, Team White uses the formation again. Bachira gives the ball to Isagi. Rin moves behind him. Despite Isagi believing the space was open to score, Rin steals the ball and scores the winning goal for Team Red. And then it happens. What did Kuro suggest in our previous conversation? It would be way more interesting if they took Bachira. And
Yeah.
that's what they did.
I like what
Mhm.
Bachira says to him too. He's like, if you want me, come and get me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
that's
not
my
waiting for you.
bitch. Love you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to win me back.
Yeah, it gives
Yeah.
good stakes and a goal for this next part of the selection and this arc. It's like, okay, now the goal is that Isagi and Nagi have to work their way back up from losing this to rematch against Rin's team and get Bachira back. So that's a good hook.
Yeah, it is. And we get to have more time with Isagi and Nagi working out how they play together, which is
Mhm.
already pretty good chemistry in what
Yeah,
they've done
like we
so
saw
far.
that, like Bachira and Nagi, you know, they were working together real well. So it's kind of a shame to break those two up. But yeah, now going into this 2-on-2, Isagi and Nagi are going to have to figure out how they'll work as like a 2-man team against whoever they're facing. But yeah, with
I
each new
think
team
I
member,
think
it's going to
they'll
be an
be okay as
adjustment.
a duo. I think they're gonna be
Yeah.
okay as a duo. That's one
Mhm.
thing I knew last week that they were gonna lose. Like he
Hmm.
took a gamble, and that I mean, it wasn't a bad gamble, but it was. I just thought for plot purposes and in general, he's just not good enough to beat this guy.
No,
He's
he's
still
Yeah.
not.
learning. But the good thing about Isagi is he's learning as he goes, and he learns better when he's against stronger opponents. He
Mhm.
Hmm.
he is taking that to heart. And I also thought like having Nagi not as an opponent but as a teammate turned out to be just as interesting as I had hoped because they work really well together. Nagi seems to be unlocking his ability as he's working with Isagi, and I'd also point out that that's the effect Isagi seems to have on the players around him. Even the players who are his opponents, that they unlock and respond to whatever energy he's putting out there, and find their own inner soccer power, or whatever the fuck word they use. So I think as a duo, they'll be okay. I have a feeling this will work out well for them. They'll be able to go back to a trio. But from there, it's going to be so much harder. They're going to be playing constant catch up to try and get back Bachira. And Bachira is only getting stronger as well. So the only way they can get him back is to play against him, which will be really interesting. But I suspect it'll be a long time before we see that happen. What'll be more interesting is to see who their duo opponents are and who they bring along. And I can see it being one of the opponents, that at least one of them being someone that Isagi's team had beaten in the previous rounds, and then having to bring them on his team and having to just figure out a whole entirely new dynamic.
I think that's a good direction if they end up teaming up with another former rival.
Yes.
And like building up it's the next 3-man team. And then it'll be interesting then, like how they'll get to the eventual team of 5.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I do one thing that we've talked about this a lot, that this show does seem to lend itself to a pattern that you can sort of play out. It does seem a little bit predictable. Like the most logical thing to happen was for him to lose. The most logical thing to happen is for him to play a rival. The most logical thing to happen is for him to even have to beat his own former teammates to get Botch, and then eventually get Botch back. Like there's a pattern here that this has to follow to progress as a plot, and I wish that it wasn't so predictable. But there's
if you're familiar with sports series narratives or tournament narratives, this following a structure that you can pretty readily identify. Okay, so they have to have a loss before they can win, and then basically repeating the same pattern. They lost again in this first match, and then the next time they'll win, and then they'll have to keep winning, right? So we'll see if there are any swerves. I actually, I haven't really read the manga for this, so I actually have been kind of following the anime for the first time on Toonami. So I'm interested to see where it goes. But so far it has kind of been following kind of a fairly standard story structure for what you'd expect.
Yeah, and it's good for, in general, that I wasn't really interested in the game as much. Like Rin is kind of an asshole. I was really checked out.
To be honest, neither Rin or the other two characters have like very interesting characterizations or
they didn't.
They seem very one note.
They were one note, and they were pretty annoying. Yes. But I've liked Bachira from the beginning, and I like when he gets to have a moment when he's playing where he gets to do something cool, and then seeing oh fuck, what's his name? I just forgot his name. His new teammate, his name starts with a K. Step up, and then also playing well with these new teammates, like really efficiently. That was fun to see as well. I wasn't, aside from not really caring about that game in general, that was like a good takeaway. But I wasn't really surprised by this outcome. So I think it'll be it'll hopefully they can find a way to make the next couple episodes exciting as they tune into like the new dynamic, his new friend. I guess they're gonna have to stick together. That's all they got.
What makes sports series interesting is when you have personal character drama that comes into the matches. So it's more than about like the actual match and the flow of how the match is going, but also in like how it's reflecting the character growth of like the people playing it. So that's why I think the previous match, where it was Team Z versus Team V, ended up being interesting, because we did see growth on for different characters on both team sides.
Yeah.
And then previous matches before that in that first arc, you had like maybe one character like
I did not care for those matches. I was completely uninterested.
Yeah, so because I think the opponents also were not very interesting in those matches, right? There
No,
wasn't
I don't
a
even
lot
remember them.
to them.
I don't even remember them.
Like the second match they had that had the shaggy haired guy who was passed now onto the second round, I guess, who was like kind of taking a back seat, right? Like I guess there was something interesting going on in him, but we don't really get a lot of like context or backstory to him.
Well, the shaggy haired guy was just like also Isugi.
Yeah, and the match after that with the brothers, those characters weren't interesting, but Kuon ended up being more the antagonist there, and I thought Kuon was a little more interesting, but even then, like it wasn't enough to actually make the match itself very interesting because but yeah, I do think it going forward, I'm hoping that we'll have more interesting kind of, teams that our protagonist team is facing against who have like their own things going on in the match that make the actual stakes of the match and the outcome more interesting and feel like there's something more being invested into it in terms of stakes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I do wish they had done? The short at the end, how they're focusing on Rin's team again. You know what they should be doing? They should do a little short with whatever the fuck Raichi is doing. That's what I want.
Yeah, let's follow the members of Team Z that we're not focusing on right now and seeing what
40 seconds of Raichi yelling at whoever his new team is and like winning or losing. I need that. That's what I'm missing. I'm missing my Raichi. Just having him yell.
Yeah, agreed. That that short was fine and all, but it really didn't. It was nothing.
Could have been better. Yeah, it could have been. It could have been Raichi.
Like, I mean, this skittish guy who's really not confident in his own ability, even though he's number 3.
That's his only personality trait.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
that's all he's got going on. And he's like,
unless there's some deeper trauma and why he's like this, his characterization seems pretty simple and shallow right now. So it's not, and that's the same thing with the glam guy too. It's like,
why are you trauma playing soccer, dude? That's not okay. Get therapy.
Very one note, one joke personalities, and you want more rounded characters. So it's not great that these are established as like the top 3 characters in the ultimate team they need to face in this part of the selection. So hopefully, again, more interesting antagonists in rival teams are upcoming for our characters to face against.
Like if the skittish guy like flips his personality at some point, that would be really predictable, but at least it would be more interesting.
If not a little scary.
Yeah, definitely a little scary.
I mean, he's already kind of unhinged in like just how hyper focused he is because he's so anxious about like being left behind and letting people down and whatever. So like, how do you flip that into like from being like super anxious and him acting like that to being like overly aggressive and dangerous in an uncontrollable way? Well, we'll see. I don't know.
My other observation this episode was Blue Lock Man is not that good of a goalie, actually.
No, he sucks. He misses all the
every shot.
He doesn't do any good protection. He's like totally useless. It's like if they didn't have a goalie at all.
Yeah, why did Isagi have so much trouble against him earlier?
I guess the programming is different, but
that's what I thought. Maybe
they nerfed him intentionally for this round of selection, so like he isn't like, super good at blocking all the passes, and he's just average.
Yeah.
So they can't rely on him to stop goals from the other team going through. Yeah.
Nerfed Blue Lock Man.
They really did.
Lawyer says there are no good goalies in this show, and that is not incorrect. That is not
You
wrong.
are well. Nobody's
I
trained
mean,
to be a
Nora
goalie
Death.
in this show.
A team of strikers, there's not really a good one among them as a goalie. Yeah.
No.
To be
It's
fair,
almost like
yeah.
you need people with different skill sets to be on a soccer team.
Yeah.
Almost as
So that
if.
was-
Yeah, like a really good midfielder. If only we had one. Oh, wait. We do.
Wait, we do.
He
Also,
just hasn't realized it yet.
Isagi keeps like preventing balls from going into the goal.
Mhm.
He's
Again,
more of a
what
he's
role
more
is
of a
that?
more of
Yeah.
a goalie than a goalie is.
He's a pretty good defensive player, but if only to show
And he
value.
can be an offensive player, which is
Yeah.
who does that role? Let's say it together. Midfield.
Midfielder.
Yeah, this will be his like come to Jesus moment at the end of the series. He'll get really far and realize that like he is really not meant to do this. He's meant to be a supporting role in a really good team, which is important too. That is very important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, you can't just win from scoring goals. You have to stop the other team from scoring goals too. That's a whole part of the game, like the whole 50% of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defense is important too. It's not just about attacking. So
Tell me how
that
you
would
really
be a
feel,
good
girl.
direction. It would be if the characters realized, hey, you know, it actually isn't the end of the world if I can't be a striker for Japan, because like there are other positions that I learned through participating in Blue Lock that I'm actually good at, that actually
Yeah.
I would be more useful at. So it'd be nice if some character had that realization.
If you flunk Blue Lock, are you allowed to play midfield for the national team?
I don't know,
Yeah.
actually. I don't know if you're completely locked out, as it were, from playing for Japan at all, or just as a striker.
Well, why wouldn't you be? What if, I mean, yeah, maybe that option's available.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. There's so much we don't know about how this works. So
I feel the only one who knows how this is supposed to work is Ego, and even then, I don't know if he's fully figured it
That
out.
dude does not know how any of this works. He just wants to sit in front of his TV screens.
Yeah.
he's loving this
And
though.
develop
He's having
his
the best time.
AI goalie pet projects.
What a waste of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any additional colored commentary, Steven?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's not blue. Tell you that. I don't know what Ego's doing. I mean, I get like you were all talking about. All of these players are one-note wonders, right? You know, they're
Mhm.
one-song wonders. They sing their same song the whole time, and it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be this one. I'm gonna be that one. I'm the guy with the alligator shaved into his head," or, "I'm the guy who's nervous all the time." They're like, you know, I keep alluding to Batman villains, but yeah, they're basically Batman villains, that each one has their own, like, little, you know, habit that they have to that's how they get their weapon and understand everything. I'm like, I get that, and I know everyone has to have a personality, but that's it for them? Why? Why can't these things be more well-rounded? Why can't they have, like, characters in there? It seems like certain characters,
Bad
they just
writing.
well, yeah. It also seems like they have so many characters that they're trying to focus on that they lose most of them in the dust, and they're like I can imagine the writers spinning a wheel and throwing a dart on it and saying, "Okay, here's the weapon for this one. Here's this character trait," and they're like throwing darts on on a spinning a wheel. It's like, yeah, and
They don't
then
have time to invest any more in
yeah.
developing these characters more because it's just such a big tournament. They got to catch everybody.
Yeah, they have to do that, and it's like, I get what they're trying to do, but still, it just seems like a waste at times. They should focus on a few of them at a time, and I think this 3-on-3 works for that focus on them because you can see growth, but I do wish it was longer instead of saying, "Hey, the 3-3 has a shorter amount of time, but focus on more episodes within the shorter amount of time, because then you could actually flesh out a lot of these smaller characters with either stories
Mhm.
or a different way of portraying Isagi as him trying to understand them, because the 3-3 is more intimate than these huge team battles where it's like you're not going to know anyone on the field. No one's going to miss the team's W's kicker or something. No one's going to miss him because he was like in the show 5 seconds and that was it. Like, no one's going to miss half these people. I don't think it's bad writing. I just think it's like they had so many to do and they're like, let's just, get as many as they can out. Losing to 3-3, yeah, I could see that coming. They were all kind of too cocky at the time, like, yeah, we could do it. It's a 3-3, and they meet like these ones that just like not getting anywhere with them, or it's like they keep scoring and it's like they can't keep up with them. So I could see them having to do that and climbing up the ranks again, which is like, I guess all anime, all sports anime at least, but all anime, you have to suffer that defeat and then rise up through the ranks.
Mhm.
Bachira saying, hey, come and get me, that is excellent motivation. That is like
Yeah.
really cool motivation. It's almost like a girl going after a guy and he's it's almost like kind of like a romance as well of them saying, hey,
Mhm.
come after me, you really want me, come after me. And that is a cool realization that his motivation is to get his team together, is to get his friends back, people he cares about back. Um, and it's almost like a heel turn a bit, like, hey, I'm going with them. It's like you better come after me or else I'm going to be with them. So I like it at times. Other times, I don't know. That goalie, there is no really goalie. It's kind of like writing into an AI prompt for the goalie. Like, hey, block this shot. And then 80% of the time it gets in, but 20% of the time it tells you, oh, you wanted to go this way on your GPS. And it's like, wait a minute, that had nothing to do with, blocking the shot. So,
Turns out this Pepsi man doesn't block every shot.
No.
um, I do like the colors of the goalies. That is cool. It's like corresponding. That's like he
Mhm.
had built that into it. Like, okay, they had to have color coding and everything else into that. Which is like
Like, you
you
can't
just
both be
wasted
blue.
another 100,000 on just that, on coding them as different color and having the hard like technology simulated and everything else.
Now that's what I call color commentary.
There you go.
Yeah, I will say I understand your reasoning why it would be good to like flesh out this more intimate game, but I was personally relieved it was over in one episode.
Yeah, me too.
Mhm.
I don't think I could handle more than one episode of
No.
that.
God, no. Yeah.
Yeah. I
But it is a
mean,
good opportunity to like get in the headspace of Isagi and other characters.
yeah. I mean, if they were to extend it, that would be the opportunity you'd want, is to get to know the characters more, right?
Mhm.
And particularly on the opposing team. But again, they're very one note. So the point of this episode is to be like, okay, there's this wall that Isagi's team needs to overcome. And now we've established a very personal goal for him beyond just passing this test. And it's a good one because it's the one the audience cares about. We want to see Asagi and Bachira reunite because we like Bachira. We've come to really see how well Asagi and Bachira work together as a team and as friends. It's a relationship that we care about. It's the most developed relationship in the show. So
Mhm.
it's a good hook, and that's a good thing that they got to in this episode. But yeah, otherwise it was going through the motions, and the antagonist team, none of the characters are really, again, much more than one note personalities. But I do think it is a good opportunity now that we've kind of narrowed the number of characters they're focusing on per match, to spend more time with those characters and fleshing them out more and getting to their heads more, as compared to when it was like the 11-on-11 team matches, because
Mhm.
even with Team Z, when you go back to that first arc, it was like maybe half of the team ended up getting like any real characterization or development outside of like one joke, right? Or one personality trait. Like you had Sagi, Bachira, Kunigami, Shigiri, Kuon, and Raichi, right? Those were like kind of the most distinct characters, and the other guys were there.
They were there.
And the worst, even worse for the opposing teams, where it's like maybe one character in the first two matches, and then I guess up to 3 with Team V had some more standout characterization or insight into them. But yeah, so now that we're like really just focusing down to just a couple characters, hopefully that'll mean like, okay, there'll be more fleshed out personalities, and there'll be more interesting dynamics between them.
Here's hoping. I find Rin to be kind of like the anti-Isagi, and he's so dismissive of adding Bachira. He's like, I don't care which one you guys pick. And the other two are just thinking, well, he was really good at passing the ball, and that would really help.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really care about anything else. But Bachira's like, I'm taking this opportunity. Increasing my BL ranking. And Rin's all like, whatever you are, your fate belongs to me now, or something to that effect. Like, so dismissive.
Yeah.
So very dismissive. So at the end here, I mean, it's not even gonna be a question. So even though Isagi could be like, well, the practical choice would be to probably take Rin because he's so incredibly good, but he's gonna take Bachira, of course. But that is, that's kind of a sacrifice in its own right, even though Rin is such a dick. And I wouldn't want to be on his team.
Who do you want to play with?
Yeah.
You want to play with Bachira. You don't want to play with Rin. Rin will outshine you too. Rin's the player you want to beat. You want to be
another
better
takeaway.
than
Yeah. Another takeaway from the match is that none of the top 3 ranked players would be great to have on a team, because they're not team players. They're all doing their own thing. They just happen to be all good at their own thing, that like they're tough to beat together, but they're not working well as a team. And if you were to have them on your team, you couldn't get them to work with you as a teammate. So
what would make this exceptional is if you're able to beat, and Isagi initially identified that was the correct path, is like, I need to beat this guy, I need to be better than this guy. So he wasn't wrong about that. So I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, like if he didn't take him, he'd probably have to come up against him as an opponent more than once. But that would only, based off of his progression in the show, it would only make him stronger. So
yeah, true.
Choosing Bachira would be the right call, but also I am very biased.
I mean, aren't we all? We would never want any other outcome than for that bromance to get reunited.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of moments in the show, a lot of these lines really do give a whole other meaning to the word, to the initials BL in the show.
Little bit. Like I said, then we'll do it for Blue Lock. We have some great episodes of Dawn to Dawn to talk about, and I'm gonna pass it over to Kuro.
Yes, we do. Episode 5, We Can All Stay There Together. So Seiko's group tries to exorcise Gigi from Evil Eye, who is still encased in our friend Taro, and they fail more than once. So they all take a break to eat dinner, and Ira joins, and she's still being extremely rude to everyone. I don't know why she's there, but I guess that's just the vibe that Seiko wants to go with. Like, all the strays are invited to her house for dinner, including Mantis Shrimp, and Chiquita, who are here to stay. Apparently, since this is the only way Cheeky can get milk consistently, so we'll have them for the long run, which I see is a good thing. Anyway, Seiko and Manjaro discuss the Evil Eye's possession and the trouble they seem to be having separating Evil Eye from Gigi based off of his spiritual prowess. Then Taro has some hot soup, and we notice Gigi apparently becomes free from his control. So his quirky self is back. Seiko has realized that Gigi and the Evil Eye have switched places, and that being doused with either the hot or cold water is the trigger point. And so she forces the group to monitor him until the exorcism is complete, and to keep an eye on him, keep him in control. We know that Gigi's immense spiritual power is the only reason he was possessed, but it's also the only reason he is alive. So they need to keep him contained in this barrier until they can manage to exorcise it completely. So everybody's given thermoses, and they're told to keep hot water in order to keep Gigi Evil Eye in check. He's given a bunch of rules. It's extremely inconvenient because I can't imagine not being able to have a cold glass of water. Poor Gigi. The struggle. In the meantime, Momo, Karun, and Naira escort Mantis, Shrimp, and Chiquita home, which happens to be right next door. And Mantis Shrimp inexplicably decides to go by the name Peeny Weenie because we're all back in middle school again. I hated that so much.
Oh,
I hated it so much. Seiko
it's
and
a
the
very
group.
Don sense of humor to
Oh
give
my god,
to
it's
Mantis
so
Shrimp
it's just
that name.
it's just so juvenile. I couldn't laugh. I was like, why do we have to? With all the other fun jokes they have, we have to do this one. Anywho,
Yeah,
Seiko and the group
I feel like
visit.
glossed over the anime. Like, kind of the joke of the manga is that like none of the characters want to address him as that name afterward, and so just continue to call him Mr. Shrimp.
They
But
might. I mean, they
yeah.
do continue. Maybe you're supposed to pick up on that as the season progresses. But
Yeah.
so the next day, Seiko takes the kids to visit Gigi's parents in the hospital, and in the car we see a very sweet moment where Momo and Okarun hold hands, and I don't know if you noticed, but Momo, because Okarun's like, I don't know the rules. She was picking up on that erogenous zone, playing some hand games. It was very erotic. I approve entirely of that whole thing. But of
Well,
course
I
they're
wouldn't characterize it like that, but it was very cute. It is like that kind of like
I think it's
young
I think
love.
it was erotic. Yeah.
Okay.
Hands can be very sensitive, It's like it's
Yeah.
like a gentle, it's a just gentle way of being maybe not overtly sexual, but like, just flirtatious. I
It's kind
definitely
of like
felt like it
the
was an
hand holding
affectionate.
joke is like, oh, so lewd hand holding.
Well, like
It's
if you're holding hands, that's an affectionate move. If you're like playing with
Mhm.
someone's hand, that's a more flirtatious move. Like it has a different
Yeah,
connotation.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Anyway, they get to the hospital. Gigi has a very emotional reunion with his parents. Meanwhile, what's going on with the Ketos? Well, thankfully, they were arrested for murder and kidnapping, as they should be. However, Naki has gone on the run, and we see her in the woods vowing revenge against Momo as gasp! She sheds her skin and reveals herself to be a cryptid. To no one's surprise, I hope. There's no way anyone thought that was human. nothing
Yeah, I mean,
about
with their
nothing
like
was human.
Yeah.
creepy, like rictus grins, they had an inhuman quality or aura to them. So it's not a surprise
has
that
a
they were
way-
actually monsters in disguise.
Way
Yeah.
bigger nose under there than I would have thought.
Very
Yeah,
big
I-
proboscis, yeah, or whatever you would like to
Yeah.
call whatever nose is. I will say I feel like the scene where we're seeing like her kind of rip off her skin and it's like all dark in the woods. I was finding that hard to see. Maybe
It
my
was.
that was
skin
on
was just
purpose.
too.
I
Yeah.
think that was on purpose. I thought they were obfuscating the image intentionally because they wanted to have more of a reveal later. That was just
Mm-hmm.
what I figured. Um so back with the kids, the teenagers, everyone's going back to school and back to their regular teenage drama. Um nothing really to get into there. But Momo then invites Okarun and Ira to come stay over at her house and help monitor Gigi. And they both, after some debate, agree to help her. And at this point, Taro really isn't able to contain Gigi any longer, frees him with Seiko's approval, and he's told that he has to continue to be on this strict hot water regimen. So the episode ends with everyone enjoying dinner at Seiko's house and settling into this kind of chaotic new normal. When a really funny moment, Ogren passes a bottle of soy sauce and he gets a close up, and then she's like, no, Seiko's like, no, not that one. And then he passes another bottle of soy sauce and it drips onto Gigi's hand and allows Evil Eye to take control and wreak havoc and ruin their dinner.
Oof.
So that's episode 5. Does anyone else think that Naki is an alien? I was definitely getting alien vibes from her cryptid. I don't know.
I figured she
Our
was
local
an
Well, she
alien.
calls
expert is
herself a
Stephen.
subterranean, so to me that implies that her and her kind are like some sort of moleman, like underground dwelling type of creatures who have
But
now just
she
come to
didn't
the
know
surface.
what the creature was in the village. They were keeping this thing that whole time and they were not accurately worshiping it. So I don't know. Steven is our resident cryptid person. What do you think? Do you think she's an alien?
She could be, but if they're saying they're subterraneans, they could be a reptilian based
Mm.
thing and everything. So I don't know. I think from what we see in the story, from what we see throughout all Don is none of these cryptids, aliens, or anything know that the other one exists. They all believe they're the real thing, and all the other ones are like fake. And so when they
Uh-huh.
find out, oh my gosh, there's actually ghosts. Oh my god, they're actually aliens. They're surprised as well. So I
That's a
want to
good
say
point.
that I want to say that most of these things don't think anything other things exist. I mean, Okarun, even though he's seen, was Okarun obsessed with cryptids? He doesn't think aliens exist. And
Mhm.
Momo, in
Mhm.
that first episode, is like, "Hey, there's aliens out there. I was just abducted by them," and he still didn't believe it. So I
It was
think
the
they
other way
all
around.
No, I think
okay,
it was the
other
She
other
way
way
believes in
around.
the
around. He
occult.
believes in ghosts and the occult,
He
but
believes in
Okarun was
aliens.
like, yeah.
Yeah, so I think each one of them are insular, right? They think they only see what revolves around them, and I think that's
Oh,
with the cryptids
even
and
Seiko says aliens aren't real.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, so I I want to say that yeah, each one doesn't know the other one exists until they finally find out the other one exists.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was also a mention, I think it was in the last season, Okarun made this kind of theory that the reason why aliens haven't been able to take over Earth as of yet is because of the existence of yokai and cryptids
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
monsters on Earth. So,
They act
they
as
may not.
repellents to each other. They
Yeah.
can't one seems to be a powerful enough balance to keep the other in check.
Hmm.
Certainly their powers, because if you notice, um the psychic powers that Momo has are pretty effective against the aliens. And then the aliens Mantis's technology was very effective in helping out with, fighting off some of the spiritual stuff. So there does seem to be some of that going on.
Hmm.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about this specific episode, Sketch?
Yeah, that hand holding scene was super duper cute.
So cute.
Mhm.
So cute.
Very cute.
So wholesome. And
Yes.
Taro having to encase Gigi all that time, and like, hey man, you put the clothes on wrong. It's like, you should be glad I'm even wearing clothes. I prefer to be naked.
Fair enough.
True point, bro. True point. And yup-a-pa, yup-a-pa.
Yeah, the Ron the Half reference is really great. And the part they actually did have Gigi like quote the lyrics, and actually quite a few of the lyrics from the song. That's
Yeah.
a great connection to make. That he gets splashed with cold water, he transforms to the evil eye, splashed with hot water back into Gigi, just like how the hot springs curse works in Ron the Half. It's very, very funny.
It's hilarious. It's very self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gigi's just having a joke about it. It's like, yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Fun.
Gotta love how unserious and memey and jokey Gigi is at all times.
Except when he gets serious.
Except, when he does actually have a moment of like kind of genuine in the moment feelings, like when he's reunited with his parents, and it is something that he tears up at.
He's a little too quirky for my taste. He's a little over the top quirky.
He can be a bit much.
Yeah, he's pretty eccentric dude.
Yeah.
But he means well. He's got a good heart.
He does. Yes.
Even going into the next episode, but yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, it's time to rock.
Heck yeah.
Hell yes. Okay. Episode 6, We Became a Family. So the group immediately douses our boy Gigi with hot water. Funny because I don't know if you noticed, he's in his underwear again. I thought that was funny. And then they worry about the evil eye's growing strength, and not to mention like the repeated damage going on to poor Seiko's home. At this point, a visual K band named Hayashi show up. They reveal themselves to be the exorcist that Seiko had requested. And for anyone who doesn't know, Visual K is a style influenced by 1980s glam rock, and it tends to be characterized by dramatic makeup, elaborate costumes, and androgynous style, which if you think like David Bowie or Kiss, then you're thinking the right track. And I love them because they fit right in on a number of levels here.
Yeah, and this is an interesting reinterpretation of the concept of Hayashi, which are a group of performers who are like, provide musical accompaniment in like traditional Japanese theater forms like kabuki or rococo. So this is a fun reimagining of the idea of a Hayashi performers as like this Visual K rock band.
I'm sure we all noticed when they were first talking about the Hayashi that the Hayashi example that we got looked to be a bunch of the Serpos.
Yeah, I don't, that was a curious choice to me. That image is not in like the manga, so they I guess they added it as a visual example for the anime, but it's like, what were they implying there with the Sepoyans being
that's
in the role of
interesting
Hayashi
that it's not in the manga. I love Seiko's initial reaction is like, piss off to wherever you came from.
Yeah. I like how they just leave.
They're like, oh, all right.
Back, they're like, wait, I think we're actually supposed to be here. And she's like, huh? And they give her their card and they do their intro again. She's like, oh, okay, yeah.
Introduce yourself properly next time.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
because again, they really buck the image of what you expect Hayashi band performers to be like. But yeah,
they
certainly adapted to the times.
Their equipment. She lets them set up their equipment, all their musical equipment, and
running all of that off of one outlet is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially when your house has exploded multiple times in the past couple weeks, as Seiko's has. But anime logic says that it's going to work out, and it does. They're here to join her to exorcise Gigi through the power of music. Much to the awe of Momo, Gurun, and Ira, And
I
apparently
like how
something-
Ira was like so unimpressed at first. Like she was like, "What is this? This is stupid." But then she gets into it, and she also starts rocking, like bopping her head and stuff. I thought that was a good.
They all
detail.
start. It
They
was a
win her over,
banger,
too.
a head banger, if you will.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
apparently
Her head, even
something-
Seiko will do this.
something about their sound prevents them from being corrupted during the exorcism and also makes them a very effective avenue for it. So
Yeah, they also just
Hayashi
don't have any
begins-
spiritual awareness.
Let
They
me
actually can't
finish.
sense.
Let me
Oh, sorry.
finish. When Hayashi begins to play, Seiko again tries to exorcise Gigi, and the fun part about this is she's doing her traditional chanting, but she's rocking out to it, and then the kids are rocking out, which essentially is feeding into the aura that they're contributing to along with the music and the exorcism. So it's making all of this more powerful. And the music was really cool. It's very 80s style metal. And the vocals, if anyone's interested, was performed by Mark Hudson, who's a singer for this band called Dragon Force, has opened for Iron Maiden, and has done a few other things in music. But I think he did a really great job. I feel like they also kind of made the character look a little like him, or maybe he looks like the character and it's a coincidence. But those vocals were fantastic. The music was fantastic, and not everyone thinks so because it disturbs Evil Eye, and Momo begins to hold him down with her psychic powers, but Gigi is tearfully pleading not to kill Evil Eye, who we see is sort of retreating inside of him because he still sympathizes with the neglected and abused child he once was. So, seeing Gigi's earnestness, Seiko stops the exorcism and allows Evil Eye to join their foster family. I guess Seiko has a soft spot too. In spite of their hesitation, initially with allowing this all to go down, Momo, Okarun, and Ira all decide they're going to become stronger because they want to hold back Evil Eye and they want to assist Gigi in managing his own spiritual powers because we keep hearing repeatedly how strong they are. So, very, very sadly, Ayashi hits the road. I wish we'd kept them around for a few more episodes, but hopefully they'll be back because they were pretty rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
The group spends the night inside Seiko's very damaged house, and they initiate training for Gigi on controlling his spiritual energy. But in the middle of the night, awake, Okaruna and Gigi kind of run into each other, and they eventually bond over their own struggles to control their spiritual powers and how grateful they are to Seiko for caring for them, Seiko and Momo, and how they've adopted them and how they both feel about wanting to pay it back and instead paying it forward, which is a really great philosophy to have.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, everyone is adapting to these new, bizarre, and complex living arrangements. Momo, Okarun, and Ira head to school, and Gigi continues his training there with Seiko. I guess he doesn't need to go to school. There, Momo resolves she's going to help renovate her house, and she's going to get a part-time job. So her friends encourage her to this. Well, behind her back, they go up to Okarun, drag him all across town on the train. He is extremely reluctant through all of this. And where do they end up? At a maid cafe, where he is uncomfortably confronted with Momo, who's also completely embarrassed to be seen in her working environment. So it's awkward for fucking everybody. I cannot wait to see how this plays out. All right, now we can talk about the episode. I just had to get that out. Yeah, it was equal parts like rock and roll fun, and then there was a little bit of vulnerability and teenage awkwardness. It was like a full episode of Dawn to Dawn. But holy crap, that the Hayashi band part was definitely my favorite. The music was awesome. The scene was awesome. It was really hard not to do, hey, bang your head along with them. Am I right?
Totally. That was
Yeah,
that was so cool. I heard the song in Japanese originally, and then I heard that the lead singer of Dragon Force was going to be performing the dub. I was like, yeah, that makes sense because it honestly sounds like a Dragon Force song.
Yeah, to do the go an extra mile of recording a new version of the song in English, it's something that's so rarely done in anime these days. Because nowadays, so often they leave songs like just in the original Japanese. They don't dub them over or make a dub version. So that was really cool. They actually went the extra mile of getting like a rock performer to do like a dub cover of this song for the English dub of Dandadan. So that was
How
pretty
different
awesome.
does the original sound? I haven't heard it. How
Oh,
similar
it
or
sounds
different is
very,
it?
very similar. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was
I'll
a
have to
controversy
listen
with
to
the
check.
original Japanese version because the song sounded so similar to a Visual K band's ex Japan song Kurenai. And so the upload of the song on YouTube got taken down, at least in Japan. Also
Oh,
because
wow.
you mentioned that like the lead member, the Hayashi, looks a lot like Mark Hudson, but actually a lot of similarities were made between
They
the
look
look
like
of this
ex-Japan.
band and X Japan. And yeah, the lead singer looks like Yoshiki, the lead singer of X Japan. So yeah, so that was interesting. That's what also makes it cool that they like again went to the effort to dub the song in English, and it's like so rad.
I
Just such a
would
good version.
love to talk to Alex Von David about all that went into that, like how they managed to get Mark Hudson and
Yeah, like how they
who
get
even came up
connected
with
with
that
him.
idea.
Yeah, that's such a fascinating story, like how that came together.
I know Mark Hudson has spoken a little bit about it. I saw like a short interview about it, but didn't really go that much into detail from what I recall. Just just one of those things that just kind of worked out.
Mm-hmm. And this is another example of Dandadan really taking something from the manga and just using the media of anime to just really go all out in both like
Mm-hmm.
the visual and musical presentation of it. Just
Yeah.
like this like the animation started all these souls also creating a crowd that is also rocking out to the Hayashi's performance is just
I
such
love that.
another awesome touch and
A
escalation
a
from
fake crowd. I
yeah.
loved that. That's awesome. Yeah, like
Mhm.
it was so 80s metal. I was so into it. I loved it. And I love the way Seiko is like she's doing her exorcism, but she's headbanging along too. Like
Yeah.
she's really feeling those vibes. Like Seiko is just perpetually cool. She will not lose her cool card anytime soon, that's for sure.
The music rocks so much that everyone gets into it. It's just such a
Yes.
fun idea. Like
It
again,
is.
even Ira, who was like thought
Yeah.
it was stupid, gets into it.
Yes. Yeah, it takes you away, and the vocals are pretty fantastic. You have me intrigued about the Japanese version. I'm gonna look that up as soon as we're finished. I really want to hear it. Um, yeah. So what are our thoughts? I figured like when this first happened, I said this in a podcast, and I said this to Sketch that like I figured the way forward was Gigi was gonna adapt Evil Eye's powers the way Ira adapted her dancer powers, but then it didn't seem to be quite going that way with their aggressive gearing towards exercising him. But now like it seems that there is going to be some kind of symbiosis between them. I don't know. What do you guys thoughts about all that?
Yeah, I think rather than like Ira, where she inherited the Acro Silky's powers, Gigi is gonna have more of a relationship with the Evil Eye as another personality within him that can be brought out to fight, kind of like in Jujutsu Kaisen, Yuji and Sukuna. And then this is like a more recent example, but in Ichi the Witch, he has this is a there's also like he has a like spirit inside him that can come out and possess him to fight and stuff like that. So it's kind of like that kind of dynamic is that he can call on like the spirit inside him to fight on his behalf. But there also can be an element of like he can probably while he's still Gigi, use some of the Evil Eye's powers too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Steven? Heard anything from you yet?
No, I don't know. I don't know how he's gonna use it because this show's already crazy enough anyway.
Mhm.
But it seems like he wants to have, like Lum was saying and like everyone was saying, he wants to have a relationship with this thing. He wants to give this thing a hug and let it play, let it, dance, as he said, because it was watching all those kids dancing, and it just wants to be a kid. And so I think he's going to try to teach it and learn it to become that kid, to eventually leave him and go out in the world and do something else, or like haunt some other person or something. I don't know how that's going to work, but at least help him in the time being. Yeah, they're going to help out and everything else. I don't see him. I see him as kind of like an anti-hero, kind of like the Hulk, right? He's a hero, but this thing can come out at any time and it's going to be unpredictable. And maybe
Yeah.
they can use that unpredictability at times to fight other things that they need to fight. But as of right now, he's too much of a risk and a liability to do anything with, and he needs to kind of rein it in. That's why they're training him to rein it in, or at least learn how to live with it. Because Okarune's power, his was like, that's Turbo Granny right there, and they still need to do that, and they have Turbo Granny in a vessel and everything else, and so she agreed to do it. And that, I gotta say, that is one wacky family.
Yeah. What a cute found family of misfits. But
It is.
yeah, I mean, that's another direction, is if they can exercise the personality of the evil eye without killing it and put it in another vessel, like with Turbo Granny, and then Gigi could use the evil eye's powers, like with his own body and sense of self. That would probably be a good compromise. But yeah, I think right now.
Interesting.
Oh, go ahead.
I feel like Dawn to Dawn doesn't like to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the thing right now, the conflict right now, is that the evil eye, like Gigi feels sympathy for him because the evil eye is this corruption of a kid who, was abused and never really got to live life and like just be a kid and play. But now the evil eye is fueled by this resentment of humans, and like its idea of playing, it's like fighting people to do that and killing people. So what they have to do is kind of reach through to the evil eye and be able to like handle it on its own level, and then get it slowly to, see them as friends and allies, and just have and not try and immediately kill them when it comes out. So that's going to be the challenge, and that's why they have to get stronger, is to be able to like an equal to the evil eye. So
they gotta befriend the evil eye.
Yeah.
Turbo Granny seems really negative, but what else is new? That's like her goat. That's her starting point.
You'll never control the evil eye.
Oh, that's a good Turbo Granny.
I will say that if Gigi wanted to do
Make
this,
my monster grow!
I will say, I just thought about this when watching this. I was like, if Gigi wanted to not kill the evil eye and exercise it, he should have probably told them that's what he wanted to do before they went through all the trouble of like calling Hayashi and doing this whole big performance. But I guess he didn't realize.
Yeah, but then we would have missed out on the exorcism.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that he didn't think about it so we could get this awesome sequence. But I guess he didn't think about it until like he was feeling the evil eye being exercised and realizing what that meant. That would mean the evil eye would basically be killed or sent to the afterlife without actually having, got into live a life.
Yeah.
So.
That might not be a bad thing either. I mean, I get Gigi's a soft person, so he felt for the creature within, but perhaps like the best thing under those circumstances, when you've been so abused that you become this hateful creature that just wants to destroy the world, then maybe the best thing is for you to move on to the afterlife so you can heal. I mean, obviously, Gigi's the right person. If anyone's gonna try to rehab this creature, then maybe it'll work. But part of me is also on the Turbo Granny side that like there really isn't anything they can do about it. Seems to be the way it was described, this type of yokai, once it's hit that threshold, that's a consuming element. Its core may have that inner child into it, but you can't separate out the evil eye-ness from this. I don't know though. The rules, like Sketch just pointed out, they making them up a little bit as they go, pulling from some mythology, pulling from some cryptidology, but they're kind of doing their own thing entirely with all of this. So, anything can happen here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Momo's working at a maid cafe.
I love Momo's friends and how much they love to tease and troll
Yeah.
Momo. Like they knew she was getting this out of the maid cafe, and they went out her way to get Okaroon to go visit her just to mess with her, but also to kind of push them together because they are also supportive. They're aware and supportive.
They are the
of Momo and
co-presidents of the Momokaroon fan
Yeah,
club.
they're their biggest stands and shippers. So they're making situations where they can get closer together, no matter how awkward they are.
Do you just Okaroon? I'm loving that.
Momokaroon.
Momokaroon, yeah.
I'm loving that. we stand Momokaroon.
We stand Momokaroon.
Yes.
And when they're dragging Okaroon out with them, and he's
It's so bad.
he's trying his best not to go, but they're just overpowering him, dragging him along. And I love that moment.
Mad.
And it's like he's trying, he's trying to be a gentleman. He's trying not to, invade her space and all of that. And then they drop the line is like, so what you're saying is if Momo and Gigi went to a cafe, that wouldn't be a date. And his immediate response, no hesitation whatsoever, no, it would not. Awesome
they fell
delivery,
into their
AJ.
trap, and it's like, well, then it's not the same with us too. So that's okay. You can come with us.
I like that he's like slowly overcoming the social awkwardness. I feel like a lot of times when they have these socially awkward characters, they're kind of stuck in that meme and they never really outgrow that. That's just like something we have to deal with as an audience, that they're, painfully shy. He is painfully shy, but also like you see little progressions in his character where he's able to kind of overcome that, not completely freaking out in the car with the hand holding thing, like just making strides towards being a lot more amenable to these social interactions with this young woman and in general in school and such. And I'm rooting for him. I like this. I like that.
Yeah, the more he interacts with people and different kinds of people, the more comfortable he is getting with them.
Yeah, which is a normal. Yeah, which I think is a normal human. Like that's it breaks away from the way anime can do that by having like an actual human progression. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about either of these episodes? Steven, we'll start with you.
I like the hand holding. The hand holding was cool. I seen that. So when the first season was on Toonami, I seen clips of that on the I want to say on Twitter or X or whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're actually doing it. And so then I'm tweeting it out as we're seeing it now. They actually did it because it was like a rooting, like they're actually doing something, going to that next stage, even if it was flirtatious or romantic or just friends doing something weird or whatever. It was like, oh my gosh, they're doing it. And then the light from the tunnel, they only did it in the tunnel as they were going through the tunnel. The light got all red. It was all almost like, there's passion, there's something in there. And as soon as they got out of the darkness, it was like, okay, back to normal. Stop with the hand holding, And so they only wanted to do it. I think they both have feelings for each other,
Oh
but
yeah.
they're too shy to even say anything with that, because they do want to be with each other, or at least be next to each other. And it's a perfect like progression. It is painfully slow, and you want them to get together faster, but I think this crawl that they're doing with every single thing will pay off in the end of like, even if they don't do anything, it was like that spark was there. Everything was there and connecting to it. Now, if they don't do nothing at the end and the whole series ends with them not kissing and going each other's ways, I'll throw the table like Gigi did. Like, just, you know, go crazy and everything. But I mean, they have to get to, I mean, at least date or something, one date with it, you know. Aside from that, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I just like them holding their hands. I think that was precious, sweet, and everything. Or I'm getting too old and I'm too sappy.
Nah, you're not too old, Zap.
No.
Yeah, never too old to be a romantic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh.
We're just appreciating young love vicariously.
Yes.
Yes.
Lum, anything about either of these two episodes you wanted to say?
I mean, these are just excellent episodes, start to finish, in a variety of ways. One scene that we haven't talked about yet that I really liked is just showing the character's morning routine.
Yes.
Like after, the big rock concert and then, the night. It's just like, I like seeing Iris like makeup routine. I like seeing the breakfast scene and just the interactions between all the characters as they're eating their breakfast, and just little bits of comedy there, like Ira refusing to help give Momo seconds. They're spat over that. And I also, going back to the previous episode, I think it was kind of a nice scene where Ira is kind of entering her classroom and everyone is like kind of giving her the silent treatment, or there's this air of awkwardness because of her confession that she was the one who planted those rumors and lies about Momo. And so now she's kind of ostracized in her class. But then Momo and Okarun come and like kind of take her away, and she's having kind of this like spat banter with Momo, and then people are like kind of confused about that because wait, I thought Ira hated her. I thought they were arguing with were in conflict with each other. So, but it also is a nice moment of like, oh well, Ira has kind of lost like the respect, or like kind of this class idol or whatever position she had, but she has gained like much more genuine friends that she can be comfortable at, even if she can't admit it, with Okarun and Momo. And it's very
She also
cute.
stopped being, a petty rumor starting cow, which I think is a huge character growth moment for her.
Yeah, no, she owned up to her mistake and is accepting that she has to atone and pay the price for it in terms of the social, like, kind of, alienation or ostracization she now is experiencing in her own class. But it's not all bad because she has, again, gained some really good friends in Momo and Okarun. So yeah, I like those moments. A lot of really nice character moments. Very, again, the sweet moments with Okarun and Momo with the hand holding, and other like kind of even more like cute complications with now the awkwardness of Okarun's seeing Mo in a maid costume and as she's working in this maid cafe. So yeah, just a lot of fun stuff. And good character development and good direction going forward. So it's just a nice gamut of different things Bonadon is really good in. And then I guess one thing that I'll point out as a tease of a future character is that when Momo's friends are taking Okarun out of the classroom, there is a shot where we see some characters looking concerned or wondering what's going on with what Okarun, and one of those characters is a character who's going to be relevant later. So just pay attention to that.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they won't be relevant in this season, or well, maybe they will. I forget how it plays out, but they won't be really relevant until a while later.
Oh, that's not who I think you. It's
Interesting.
not who I thought it was. Interesting.
Well, we won't have when is season 3 due to hit the screens? 2027.
Yeah.
That sounds
2027 sounds like.
I thought I remember seeing something about it going into production this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that my imagination? I swear I remember that.
Well, yeah, they announced it not long after season 2 finished airing, and they said it was gonna take 2 years. So that would be 2027. Thereabouts. Sometime in there. So a few things I appreciated in this episode. I love seeing the morning routine. I was like, never would I have imagined a girl's morning routine to be featured on Toonami.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of showing all of the parts. Really, it's a pretty elaborate.
Yeah,
really went into detail.
Yeah, there's some makeup sequences in Sailor Moon, right?
I wouldn't remember.
Even.
But if you're on TikTok,
Maybe.
I feel like every other stupid TikTok influencer now does that shit on their own video. So it would be entirely new to anyone in the audience, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. True.
Anyhow,
the other thing is the house is very cold because it has many holes. But hey, the jackets are cute.
Yeah.
And I really like that scene where Okarun and Gigi are both up in the middle of the night and they're so groggy and barely aware. It's like, no, be careful. Get wet.
And the moment where Momo is like peeking in on them also groggy and giving them a thumbs up is very funny.
Yeah, that's so good.
Oh, I missed that. That's funny.
And then she crashes back down. There's kind of a mess.
That's
with
funny.
Ira. It's cute, but oh man. I was like, I gotta fix my house. I'm so cold. I mean, you don't think about it, but that is incredibly cold. If you have no insulation and no proper walls, that is so cold.
We're using cardboard.
Yeah. Cardboard ain't gonna do much, if anything.
Poor Seiko.
I guess this would have been the previous episode, but I love the moment Seiko was like, "All right, Taro, good job. You're free to go." And it's like, yes.
He's like, I don't know what to do anymore. He's so weird.
Oh, that was also a good joke in the previous episode with Mr. Shrimp that I'm just remembering, is that when he's going up in the UFO and they're waving goodbye to him, he just goes like a couple miles down the road.
Yeah, he goes really close.
They were like, oh, I think they could have just walked.
Yeah.
They could have.
They're slowly going down like the whatever you call the thing that takes you up into the UFO.
I don't quite understand their problem. So they can't have a cow on their home planet?
Yeah, because their home planet, they live underwater basically. Or like they breathe this breathable liquid, but the cow can't breathe that obviously. So they have to kind of be in an environment where the cow can live so they can milk it.
I thought they couldn't milk it. That was the problem, that they didn't know how to do it.
Well, that was also the problem, and also the cow can't live on their planet because it's covered in this like water-like substance.
You can keep the cow on the ship.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of great.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he just so easily gets a job as a ranch hand.
Yeah, I was gonna comment that. Like, I guess they were not deterred by his odd appearance. They come in all shapes and sizes, man.
Oh, he has a way of appearing human.
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't think
they
it's been shown yet.
Okay.
But yeah,
good. Good, because I was gonna feel bad for a minute for not remembering. There's a lot of little things that I don't remember.
I think that'll come up pretty soon, actually. Yeah. Well, rest assured, they'll be able to fix the house. But You might be surprised at how they eventually do it.
Well, they need to make it like explosion proof because that happens a lot.
Yeah, no kidding. The other thing was in the previous episode, they end right as they're having dinner and they spill the soy sauce. It feels like when we come back, this is not that time that Evil Eye is freaking out. This is like something that has happened multiple times off screen. Am I the only one thinking that? Because it doesn't feel quite connected to me.
It was there definitely was a missing moment. I was under the impression based off of it being the evening that it was the same, but
Yeah.
I can see how that would give you the idea that it's something that happens multiple times. You do kind of skip it because you go straight from you don't actually see the transformation. You just see the explosion. And then you come back and you get, Gigi in his underwear, sort of implying that's what
Yeah.
happened.
That's what I think. I think we just skipped most of the fight up until the end when we cut back to it at the beginning of the
I think
this
they wanted
episode.
it to be just sort of funny. Like I think that was meant to be a bit of a bit where
Yeah.
like he ruined,
Yeah.
he accidentally gets turned and they gotta douse him with hot water. Oh ha ha ha, like that was just kind of the impression I got, that it wasn't meant to be a serious fight, just like a moment of chaos that we're it's inferred that happened
Mm-hmm.
Those
in a
underwear
visual
are
case.
like indestructible, man.
Well, thank goodness for that.
That's Evil Eye's
Yeah.
comfort zone, okay?
Yeah.
That's how Evil Eye feels comfortable.
But man, Gigi's like, oh, not ripped, but man, that kid's like,
He's
he's got,
toned.
he's toned, and it's like the only thing that doesn't get destroyed is the underwear, and it's like maybe the Evil Eye just wants to show off how toned of a body
Is it
they
Gigi
got.
or is it Evil Eye makes him toned? That's what I want to know. Cause Okarun kind of looks more toned when
Yeah.
he
Well, we
turns
saw
his
Gigi
ability.
in season 1. We saw Gigi was pretty ripped.
Okay.
So
Again, a detail that I couldn't remember because there's so many.
I mean, it's not like you should be ogling a teenage boy anyway.
yeah.
Well, I
Mhm.
wasn't.
So,
For the plot elements, I don't
quite
remember the
all right.
individual things. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's ripped, but he's he's got good shape.
His demon form though is like super ripped, like crazy muscular. He's playing soccer with his, super ball of spirit energy.
Yeah.
That could be a really fun ability later on. Like if that comes back, I'd like to see that
It
get
could be.
used.
It
Yeah.
could be.
Get Gigi/Evil Eye in Blue Lock. We'll see how
Yeah.
they fare against him.
That's what I was saying.
We've
He'd
been
win.
saying this for weeks.
Mhm, mhm.
he'd fit right in.
He would win.
Japan national team, here we come.
They won't even need Blue
Rin
Lock.
ain't
That's
got
their striker
shit.
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then Isagi can have his dream job as a midfielder.
Because he's so mid.
Yeah. Unfortunately for him.
Mm-hmm.
Vacher would make a good forward though.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, now that we have come full circle, unless there's anything else, Sketch, that you wanted to add.
No, that performance is so good. But
Oh,
part
yeah.
of me is like, man, maybe they should have called Metalocalypse. called Deathlock. Deathclock could also wake the dead.
Very
Like,
true.
very, very true. It was kind of a Deathclock moment. But yeah, that was fantastic. Just so good. So good. A banger, a true headbanger. And very fun episodes. All the teenage hijinks, all the slice of life stuff is really, really fun to have for this quirky found family that keeps adding members.
Yeah. I definitely kind of glazed over some of the slice of life moments, I gotta admit. I did find, some of the more teenage moments are amusing, but I was not as enchanted by them as you both were, unfortunately.
It's just Granny Seiko's house of why can't I think of it?
Hormones. That's a lot of hormones in one household.
It's Granny Seiko's house of so what's the word? It's not supernatural per se. Well, let's just say supernatural. Super naturally gifted wayward youth.
There you go.
That's it. We got there eventually.
She's like the anime Miss Peregrine.
Okay. I like that'll do it.
Yeah.
Fun times on Dawn to Dawn. Fun times. You can email us at podcast@ToonamiFaithful.com. Follow us on Facebook.com/ToonamiFaithfulPodcast, on Twitter @ToonamiPodcast. And you can listen to the podcast on just about everything, including Apple Podcast, Castbox, Deezer, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Overcast, Podbay, Podbean, Podcast Addict, Radio.com, Spotify, and the TuneIn app. And you can find every episode of the podcast to stream online at the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus, SoundCloud.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast. Get the latest news by following @ToonamiFaithful.com on Blue Sky and @Toonami News on Twitter. And read the news, views, and reviews on ToonamiFaithful.com. LumRanmaYasha, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me online as LumRanmaYasha in a variety of places, like the platform formerly known as Twitter, X-Twitter, as you may call it, but also Letterboxd and AniList. Wherever there's a LumRanmaYasha, you can find me there by that name. You can find my writing, podcasts, and a lot of other things that I do in the anime, manga, press, and media space on MangaMavericks.com. We do a lot of convention coverage. We write a lot of reviews. We do interviews. So you can read all of that stuff on there. And you can also check out the Manga Mavericks podcast on every podcast platform that you listen to. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, wherever you listen to podcasts, we're on there. And of course, you can follow Manga Mavericks on social media at Manga Mavericks on Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel as well. And we also are now in manga publishing with Manga Mavericks Books. We launched in last spring of 2025. We've been doing this for over a year. We've put out about half a dozen books, and we have many more on the way through this year. And we have a lot of announcements of new licenses we're really excited to share during the summer con season. And even this month, keep your eyes out on our socials. We'll have some straight to socials announcements for some new licenses too. And they're going to be pretty big ones that I'm really excited for folks to hear about. And again, you can
awesome.
Follow us. Yeah,
Super
thank
awesome.
you. And
congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been amazing to do. I'm really grateful and honored at just all the support we received and how enthusiastic folks have been for us going into publishing and how much people have enjoyed our releases so far. And I'm really proud of the team that we've put together. We have some of the best folks working in manga localization, working with us, and people that I've admired for so long that are working with us, that I'm just like, incredibly proud of what we've built. And yeah, you can find Manga Mavericks books releases on our online store.mangamavericks.com, as well as on various other e-reader platforms. Where you can find our books on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and wherever you buy your books, physical or digital. We're also on digital subscription platforms like Amoy and Global Comics, on Comics.one and Sweet Shop. So if you enjoy checking out digital books or want to check out our books for a digital subscription, you can find us on those platforms as well. And again, you can follow us on social media at Manga_Mavericks, at Manga Mavericks. And again, we're going to have some really exciting new announcements to make on our socials. So you're definitely going to want to keep tabs on us there. And if you would like to support us in what we do on our podcast and media endeavors, you can. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/Manga Mavericks, and we have a Substack, the Manga Mavericks Plus newsletter, that you can subscribe at. And at our $5 tier, we offer monthly bonus podcasts talking about a variety of different subjects in addition to our main podcasts, including mini-series on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Hajime no Ippo, as well as one-off podcasts covering things related to what we talk about in the main show. An upcoming podcast is going to be on a recent Shonen Jump favorite of mine, Shinobi Undercover, and you can, again, find that on our Patreon and Substack. And your support helps us, support side operations that we do with the podcast and with our media endeavors. And that helps us out in addition to everything we're investing in our manga publishing endeavors too. So lots going on with Manga Mavericks, and definitely do look forward to even more cool stuff from us as we are celebrating our 10th year of also being around as a entity. I didn't think starting the podcast 10 years ago that we'd be where we are now, also in manga publishing and the way we've grown as we have. But I'm, again, sincerely grateful and humble at just all the support everyone's given our way, and hope you continue to look forward to even more great things from us to come. And if you like the art I make, the thumbnails that I've drawn for my podcast, and the animation illustrations I do in general, you can find that on my Instagram at SidArtWorks.
All right. Steven, tell the folks where they can find you.
Hi, you can find me on the internet. I'm under Mixigos. Yeah, I'm under Mixigos if you want to find me. I'll keep mine short. Yeah, that's about it.
I'm also not nearly as impressive. It's a hard act to follow, but it is not my chosen career, so I take comfort in the fact that Lum has worked really hard to establish themselves in the industry and are doing an excellent job by the sound of it. So, but if you were curious enough to follow me, you can do it on Twitter, and you can do it on Blue Sky at Happy Kuro Kitty. And Sketch, where can they follow your illustrious self?
You can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984, or look me up on Blue Sky, Sketch1984. Yeah.
Well, that's a podcast.
It
Thanks
sure
for
is.
listening, everybody. We will be recording next Thursday again because of Mother's Day this Sunday, just in case, that threw everybody off. So if you do tune in live for the group, our core group of wonderful live listeners, it will be again on Thursday next week.
Yep. Yes. Be sure to spend some time with your mothers if you can. At least give them a call if you can. And thanks for listening, whether you're tuned in live as we stream this or listening to the podcast after the fact. We always appreciate your listenership. And until next time, we will continue to stan Momokaroon.